Got it. Okay. Perfect. We're live on YouTube. Got it. I'm just gonna mute this. Okay. All right. We're good to go now.
Okay, good.
So, okay, wait. Let me admit this. Okay. Where's the? Why is this the show? This? Yeah. Okay, I lost my Zoom. That's why. Okay. Okay. All right. It's not coming in. Oh. All right, so we are up now. Yeah, yeah. Finally.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for joining, everyone, wherever you're joining from. My name is Samson, and with me here is Kem Oyeyola, my partner, my co-host, and she doesn't want to hear that all the time, but anyways, we are so excited to have you be part of this. We are live on YouTube. Please invite someone to come share. Share this. You can go on YouTube, share, because we're live streaming now. We are ready. We have a lot set for us because our guest is so ready. And you know what? A lot of people have been asking that, what's it all about, that director distractor? So a quick snippet about director distractor is, in the world we live in today, so much is happening, and then we cannot but distraction is inevitable. But the way you manage how a distraction comes your way is what makes you successful or ahead of it. So that's why we're here. Life Trace is all about being inspired and getting ahead so that you would not be distracted, even though we cannot totally eliminate it, because you know what, Christ says, be of good cheer, I've overcome the world. Another thing that I want you to know is directed distractor is about, in the book of Isaiah, the scripture made it clear to us that I set the Lord before me as a flint rock, meaning that I made the Lord my focus. I refuse to be discouraged. I refuse to be, dumbfounded. I refuse to give up. Life is all about fight, right? And then for us, as a believer, professional, and then in any area of life you find yourself, our victory is certain and it's sure. So whatever the world posts at us, we have to fight and fight through. At the end of a tunnel, victory is always ours. So regarding our health or work, anywhere we find ourselves, we have to dig our root deep in every way, in any how we have to, because we don't want to be the seed by the roadside. We don't want to be the seed on the rocky, or we don't want to be the row on the rock that the bird come and take it away. We don't want to be the seed in the tongue that the world of the cares and the cares and the treasure of this world choke the world out of us. We want to be the seed in a good fertile soil that take its root deep down. And you know what? Root is just not one stem. Root is diversified in different means to go deep down, to tap into resources. And today, as John said, that I wish above all things that I'll be in good health, So health is part of it. Christ wants to be involved in every area of our lives. I mean, not just going to church, but also in every. And this is part of the root where you need to deep tap down into professionals that have been trained, that know it, and that are well equipped to come talk to us and encourage us and say, hey, this is the right way. This is how to go about it. So that's what Life Trade is all about. And that's why Director Distractor is not here to mislead or to misguide or to misinform you, but to connect with professionals who you can tap the root into so that you can dig deep. And then when you grow out and people will see you radiating and say, tell me your secret. And they end up telling them, my secret is the Lord Jesus. And then you say, what is it's all about the Lord Jesus? And then you bring them down here and say, you know, I was connected to a live stream. I mean, I was connected to a professional who is equipped and then educate me more about my health and what to do and how to do it. And that's why I'm feeding on this information. Feeding us on this information makes your root go deeper, to dig deep and learning more so that you can grow and become a firm believer and a firm at the place of work, in the market, in the labor market, at home, on the street. I mean, anywhere you find yourself, people will find out that you are really a blessed man. That's what the seed in the soil ground is all about. And today we have our guests ready to take us on this session about health and nutrition. She is an expert. She's, I mean, I don't want to say much here. I'll allow, I don't want to unleash, but I'll allow. She's already pinching me that you're talking too much. But you know what? I'll give it up to her. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much once again for joining, and thank you, Ma, for honoring our invitation. We really appreciate you here. I said everything. So if you miss what he said, you can just always go back and listen to what he said. Today, our special guest is Pastor Grace. So I'm going to read her bio. Grace Insi Guzo, she's a nutritionist. She obtained a master's in human nutrition from the University of Manitoba and has been working as a patient food service coordinator in the health sector. She's married to Pastor Hike Insi Guzo, and they co-pastor the Power Mind International Ministries here in Winnipeg. They have parents to 3 beautiful girls. Grace Insigo is passionate about people driving well in their spirit, not only in their spirit, in their soul, and in their body. She's also passionate in educating and enlightening people about living healthy lifestyle, especially in making healthy food choices. And I know it's something that is on the trend now. Everybody want to live healthy. We are so conscious of what we're eating, what we're putting in, how the working out we're doing, just because we all want to keep fit, right? And so we have so many information out there, so many people saying, okay, do this and do that. But today on this show, we have someone that is a specialist in that aspect. She's here to educate us on what to do, how we're gonna do it. When I saw the PowerPoint, I'm like, I was so thrilled. I'm like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm gonna just get your pen ready, and if you have any question, please just you can always just unmute yourself, raise your hand, and ask your question. So are we ready to turn it up to Pastor Grace?
Oh, yes,
she is ready. She's ready. Like he also said, we need to share this thing. We just the only thing you can help us to do is just share this. It's live on YouTube, on Facebook. We need so many people need to hear about this thing. Our health is so important. How can we do what God has destined us to be if we're not healthy, right?
Yeah.
So you need perfect health to carry out that assignment that God has given you. So, and how can you do that? By hearing it, by listening to specialists, by listening to people that can advise us, that can give us the right advice and help us, give us that knowledge that we need to know about healthy lifestyle. So now we are going to turn it over to Pastor Grace. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. I believe everybody can hear me. Awesome. All right. Okay. So greetings to everybody. I know we're all streaming or logging in from every part of the world. So in this part of the world, Winnipeg, it's about after 12 in the afternoon. So greetings to everybody. I want to thank my brother Sam and the beautiful wife for giving me this opportunity to be able to come on this platform and to share what I have, which I know most of them are not new to us. But sometimes, when you hear things again, it begins to make sense to you. So thank you so much for this opportunity. It's really an honor to be here. So I want to start off first with a disclaimer. Okay, because we live in a world now where you just have to be careful what you say. But again, if you have a backing, you can speak on some certain things. Okay. So first, I want to have a disclaimer here because we all are individuals. And if there's anybody, I will still advise you to still connect with your personal doctors, your whoever is overseeing your health in certain things that might be discussed here. Okay, so please still connect with your doctors. If those of us that have personal dietitians, still connect with them. So this is like on a general note that we're doing this. Also, I try to connect with my brother, and I said, who are what is the forum? Who are the people that we're going to be talking to? And I believe most of us are those of us living in diaspora, or most of us that are out of our country, our homeland. And sometimes we find ourselves in another place. We're dealing with cultural shock. We're dealing with getting used to the stress system. We're trying, it's like pulling us from what we know into another system. So I believe at least a chunk of us will be people that are living in diaspora, okay? But if not, those of us at home, that's still fine. There's still a lot of things that we can share and understand from what we're going to be sharing this afternoon. Okay, so having said that, again, my name is Grace Isinguzo, and we live here in Winnipeg, and we've come to know this place as home for us. I practice as a nutritionist, not a dietitian, but a nutritionist. So what that implies is that I can do a meal plan. I can work with doctors and dietitians to make sure that one has the right food, the right nutrition, okay? Another thing I want to bring out before we go into the slide is that everybody's individual. Every individual is different. So personally, as a nutritionist, I don't even believe in all the fad diets that are out there. Because science is going towards personalizing everybody. That's where science is going towards now, that they can run your genetic buildup and make a diet that will be specific for you. Okay, so that's where science is heading, and that's what I also believe in. So all these fad diets or keto or there's always something out there every time, and everybody rushes into it. Everybody is different. Everybody's metabolic rate is different. Everybody's MBI, everything is different for everybody. So what works for your friend might not work for you. Men and women are different. We all know that by now, right? You eat a bagel, your husband eats a bagel. And for sure, the ladies, it settles where you don't want it to settle. And the guy just keeps going. And you're like, life is not fair, right? Because we're all built up different. Hormones comes into play. What maybe medication could also come into play. Your genetic buildup comes into play. So when we talk about diet, please, again, at the back of your mind, make sure that you are thinking of you being an individual. How much do you burn? How fast do you burn calories? And all of that. So you streamline and that's why I keep giving that disclaimer, go back to your doctors, go back to your healthcare providers for this, but still be able to glean some things today, okay? So what is healthy lifestyle? Healthy lifestyle is a way of living. It's not just something, like I said again, like all these diets, I do it for 1 month, I get into that size 8 clothes, and then in the next 2 months, I go crazy again, and I come back again, and and then it wears out the body. Okay, so when I say healthy lifestyle, what I'm talking about is my day-to-day life. What is the thing that I do that contributes to my health? And it's something that over time, it just becomes a norm. It becomes a character. It becomes something that I live with. And not just that, I'm doing it because I want that to live longer. I want to live better. I want also my children to see me living a healthy life, and I can also see my children's children. You just want that. These are the things that you want to engage in, or you're thinking when you're talking about healthy life, healthy living. Okay. So healthy living, this refers to the practice of health enhancing behaviors. It's a lifestyle. Okay. And what it does is that it keeps and improves your health and your well-being. It's a lifelong behavior. It's not just something you do for that moment. So what are some of the things that are involved in healthy living? Some of the things that are involved in healthy living, again, I said it's a lifestyle. It's not just something you do per month or week, or there's a wedding coming up next month, I have to go into this thing. It's a lifestyle. So what are the things that are involved in this? One of the major things, I kind of broke it down, is healthy eating. Okay, eating healthy. So I want to live a healthy lifestyle. Then I should check my eating. It should be on the healthy side. Physical activities, again, you connect with your medical practitioner or whoever takes care of your health. What are some of the exercises you can engage in? I know there are tons of things out there on the internet, but you can connect with some of them and see what is the pace I can go with. Is it just taking a walk every day? Is it just going on the treadmill for 15 minutes? That's fine, if that works for you, right? So physical activities, engage in that. Is it like packing, like 5 minutes walk from my office and walk the rest? Anything that you can add. Is it taking the steps instead of the elevator? Things like that, physical activities. Another thing that I want to talk about when we talk about healthy living or healthy lifestyle is weight management. And I get it, for us, the ladies, we struggle with this based on our hormones and our stages in life, and stress too. Men also struggle with that, but I think it's more on the women, especially with the times we're in now, right? And there's so much popping out on the social media and all of that. You crave to look like that. So weight management is a big thing for us ladies, and men, of course, as well, and even our teenagers. I have teenage girls, and I see what they struggle with, right? And it's out there. So weight management is another way of living a healthy lifestyle. Stress management is another way of living a healthy lifestyle, because sometimes, yes, you get the money, but you're so stressed out. And stress can be evident in our bodies. Okay. You can see the physical manifestation in our bodies, and it can come forth in health and in diseases, or just your moods. Okay, so these are the 4 ways that I kind of broke down what healthy living is. So if I want to live a healthy lifestyle, I should work on my health, on my healthy eating. I should work on my physical activities. I should work on my weight management, and I should also work on my stress management. So this for me, I would say, is a way I can manage well and say, okay, I'm living a healthy lifestyle. Okay. Again, please, if anybody has any question, by all means, just indicate. We can always, it's a very, I want it even to be an interactive thing, okay? I don't just want to be the only one talking. All right. So all of this shows us what are some of the things that are involved in healthy eating, in healthy lifestyle, of course, healthy living, physical activities, like I said, weight management, and stress management. So those are the things that you can use, those 4 things that you can use to say, okay, these are the ways I can live a healthy lifestyle. So why is healthy living important? Why are we into all of this? It's important because when you combine healthy living and physical activities, it can help you maintain healthy weight. So you remember the 4 things that we talked about, right? So we said that when we're talking about our health, that we're talking about, just one second. We said when we're talking about our health, there are 4 things that I want us to consider, right? And those 4 things are you're managing your weight, you're managing your physical activities, you're managing your stress, and you're checking what you're eating. Okay, so now the question is, why healthy living? So you're combining healthy eating, you're combining physical activities, and what you're doing, it's maintaining healthy weight. Okay, and in the long run, what you're now doing is that you're reducing chronic diseases and you're promoting overall health. And of course, the ultimate is that you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, your self-esteem and self-confidence is boosted. You can walk into a room and you can hold your head high, right? Of course, we know that our confidence is in Christ. I believe most of us here are believers. Your confidence is in Christ. Your confidence is what God has done for you through the death of Christ. But also, aside from it, when you walk into that boardroom or when you walk into that meeting or you go into that space where you feel that you're the minority, if you have or you're practicing this healthy living, you can go in with confidence, knowing that your physical appearance alone speaks volumes when you walk in a place. Okay. And that's where we tell people, let your head be lifted high when, like, hold up your head when you walk into a room. What you're doing is that you're taking that space. You're taking that confidence is exuding from you. And it comes from a place where you know that there are things that I have done and I can see it physically manifesting in me. Okay. So that is why healthy living is important. It gives you that confidence and you live a healthy, long life. Now, food for thought. Let's listen to this quotation. I got it from online. It says, the food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. So for everything we put in our mouths, one, it can be the safest and most powerful form of medicine. So do you notice that medicine we're talking about now, we're not even talking about those chemicals we pop into our mouth, but food. Food can be a form of medicine, or at the same time, it can be a slow form of poison. Okay, so I just want us to think about that as a food for thought. That whatever I put through my mouth is a form of medicine. And what is medicine? Medicine repairs your body. Medicine rejuvenates your body. Or that same thing that I put in my mouth can be a form of slow poison, whereby before I know it, I'm beginning to degrade. Okay, so let's look at food that way. Apart from enjoying food, of course, I'm a great foodie. I love food, but I also see food as a form of medicine, nourishing my body, taking care of my cells, or it's a way of killing the same cells that make up my body. So what is healthy eating? Eating a healthy diet is not strict limitations. Okay, like I keep saying this, it's not, oh, get off carbohydrate, or get off fat, or get off protein. Yes, but even right now, people are saying if you take too much protein, you're overworking your liver and your pancreas. And you're like, oh my God, I thought keto diet is the best diet. Or get off this one. Oh, we're Africans, don't eat swallow. Or all of that. So healthy eating is not strict limit. It's not a strict limitations. Okay, so we are children of God. We are free. We have that freedom. So it shouldn't be strict. It shouldn't be on such a limited, strict. I see people that weigh their food. And again, I'm not against that, right? So don't live in such a way that 0.0001 calorie, it must not exceed that. No, please. In as much as I'm saying that, again, I don't want us to go the other extreme, but healthy eating or diet is not strict limitations. It's not staying unrealistically thin. Okay, that is not even healthy eat. That's not healthy living or healthy eating. It's not depriving yourselves of the food you love. Okay, there's some food, especially for those of us that are coming from Nigeria. There's some food that there's no equivalent of it in diaspora. There's no burger that can fit some Nigerian food, okay, or some African food. There's no way. There's no taste that you can say this is no. So don't deprive yourself of those food that you love. Again, healthy eating should not be complicated or overwhelming. Don't begin to count and calculate and divide by and all of that. Those things are involved in it, but let it not be overwhelming. Okay, let it not be an overwhelming thing. So that is what healthy diet is not. It's not a strict limitation. It's not staying unrealistically thin. It's not depriving yourself of the foods that you love, or it should not be complicated. Rather, it is enjoying your food, enjoying the food you eat. And we've always been told that when you're eating, try to not to rush your food. Especially for us, our food is so much full of spice, so much full of flavors. And the part of the tongue, God created the part of the tongue in such a way that there are different parts of the tongue that has different sensory cells that can taste every part. And that's why I'm not shading the white folks, but when a white person eats a typical African food, it's overwhelming for them because those part of their tongues are not used to those different types of sensors or sensory feeling. So a typical African food has everything you can think of, all the spices, all the sensory parts of the tongue and the mouth gets kicked, right? It's like you get a kick from every African food. So when you eat your food, enjoy it, don't rush it, okay? Enjoying your food is having more energy. You eat and you get energy for it. You get the calories and for what you need and you eat it. We're going to talk about calories later, okay? So enjoying your food and also improving your health and boosting your mood. So that is what healthy eating is. So if you look up the 4 ones that I wrote up there, is what healthy eating is not. But looking down on the 3 down below is what enjoying or healthy eating is, okay? Enjoying your food, feeling great, having more energy from the food you eat, and improving your health and boosting your mood. Okay, so that's what healthy eating is. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this just so that by the time we keep going down the slides, we'll begin to reorient our mind, the way we see food, the way we look at food, the way we eat food, okay? So when we talk about healthy pyramid, it's talking about the food. So eating healthy, if you look at this pyramid, you see that the base of this pyramid has more of fruits and vegetables. This is not it's not a new thing for us, right? We know that we should eat more of vegetables. And then the next thing we should eat more is starch. Now, when we talk about starch, we're talking about grains, whole grains, not processed grains. What is the difference? Processed grains are like your white flour. They're all the bran has been taken off, okay? So all you're just having is straight on starch. But when we talk about whole grain, we're talking about things like flaxseed or even whole wheat. We're talking about things that still have the bran coating to that seed or grain in it, okay? When you look at that same pyramid, you see the next thing is protein. You would think that it would have been the other way around, right? You would think that probably should have been protein, veg, protein, starch. But looking at this, you see that starch is there, but it's the right starch, okay? The right starch. So when you go for starch, you go for those that are whole grain, not just wholemeal, okay, but whole grain. So they are less processed. So they have all the fiber in it. You still have all the fiber in it, okay? And then, of course, protein, dairy products, fats, and of course, we're going to talk about some type of fats that are good. There are good fats, and then treats. So that's why I keep saying, still enjoy your food. It's not a strict limitation. You can still have that 1 or 2 scoops of ice cream. That's okay, right? So don't feel guilty about it as long as you balance it. You balance the quantity of what you eat. So basically what we're saying is more of the fruits and vegetables, more of the less processed foods, and less of processed foods. Less of sugar, less of direct starch, less of the bad fat, okay? So I'm not saying no more of this, but more of this, but more of your vegetables, fruits, and whole wheat and whole grains, and less of all of this, okay? So there's a word that I called, I mentioned earlier, calorie. And I know most of us that are involved in, healthy eating, there are some things that we talk about calorie, and we want to start weighing to the minutest 0.00 amount of calorie that we're taking into our system. But we want to know, what is calorie? What is it all about? So calorie is the energy that is produced from the food that fuels your body. So your body is like a car, right? Your car, you fuel your car to move. The same thing with your body. The minutest cells in your body needs energy to move. Okay, so what happens is that your cell goes and takes the calories from the food you eat. God is such a, when you look at the creation of God in the human body, it blows the mind that the intricate cells in the body goes and takes those calories. Those calories are from the food that you eat. There's a process in the body that breaks down those food into the minutest, smallest amount that the cells of the body can take in. Okay, so calorie is the energy, and what that it does is that when the body or the cells, because I'm going on to the cellular level now, when the cells of the body takes this energy, they produce takes this calorie, they produce energy for the body to fuel the body. So you see why it's not the best advice to starve yourself in the process of saying that you're living healthy. Now you see that it's going to even offset some certain metabolic rate things in your body, or some things that your body needs energy for, and you find that you are depriving yourself of that, and there's a way the body kind of compensates for that. Okay, so one thing I tell people is that don't starve your cells, don't starve your body. Do you know why? Because when you eat, your body will be in a survival mood and will hold on to any food that you eat and will not want to release it because it knows that it's not going to have any more coming in. And that's why we're encouraged to eat small amount of food if you're not fasting, small amount of food in a day, sometimes 6 times, where you have your 3 main one and 3 main and 3 snacks in between, of course, all portion sizes. So what you're doing is that your body is burning calorie. It's burning and it's like coming in and going and out. But when we deprive ourselves of these calories in the name of starving ourselves, that's what I'll call it, to look thin or whatever, what you're doing is that you're putting yourself into a starvation mood. And once your body is in a starvation mood, anything that comes in, it will store it and it will hold on to it as fat to preserve it during the starvation stage. So that's why you find that you're struggling with losing weight, right? So the best advice is just keep eating. Again, disclaimer, quantity it's paramount, right? Portion size is paramount. But what you're doing is that your body is like it's like a fuel. It's going through and coming out. Okay, so let's put that at the back of our mind. That's also my concern with things like intermittent fasting. When you're doing intermittent fasting, involve water. Okay, get water at least so that your body is, because metabolic rate keeps going on. Okay, so at least have water. And when I advocate for intermittent fasting, it's really good. But when you're doing that, get water so that your body is also, taking out all those toxins and all of that. So it's not in that starvation mood and your body is just holding on to everything. Okay. So we're talking about calories. Sorry, I kind of deviated, but we're trying to define what calories. It's the energy that produced from the food that fuels the body. Calories are essential for human health. The key is consuming the right amount. Okay, so yes, we need the fuel for the body, but the key thing is to consume the right fuel, the right amount. Every car, a big car consumes more gas, right, or more fuel. But if you have like a small car, you find out that what fills up your tank doesn't take that much amount. The same thing with our body's structure. And that's why I say that when I don't believe in a generalized diet for everybody, because everybody's metabolic rate is different, everybody's weight, BMI is different, everybody's genetic buildup is different. Okay, so when we talk about those calories, we should also think about, pay close attention to all of this. Okay, so calories are essential for human health. They are, but you have to consume it at the right amount. It is important to pay close attention to where you get your calories from. There are sources of calories from food, so it is important that you pay close attention where you get your calories from. Okay, so what are calories? They are the energy from the food that fuels the body. So when we talk about calories, that's basically what calories are. Okay. Now, when I said be careful of starving yourself, because again, you go into that starvation mood, The other way, because there's always the extreme in everything, right? The extreme to that is that when you now eat too much, what your body does is that it now conserves those energy in form of fat. So it's a process, it's a chemical process whereby starch is converted into fat and the body just holds onto it, okay? Because there's no other way it can eliminate it, especially if one is not working out, you're not burning it, right? So what happens is that lots of that calorie starch now converts into fat and you find them layered in your body tissues, okay? So it's either you go either ways. So that's just wanted us to know that about calories. Now, there are different types of calories. There are empty calories that provide energy, but very, very little nutritional value. So yes, they give you energy, but there's no nutritional values to it. And empty calories mainly are from solid fats and added sugars. In this part of the world, I don't know if you guys have seen all these energy drinks that people pop into their body full of caffeine and sugar. It has a lot of calories, but they are empty calories that don't add nutritional value. They can give you that jump start right away in the morning or whatever you need it for, sports or whatever. And then what happens is that it begins to build fat on your body, especially if you're not working out. So things like Gatorade, you see, that's why a lot of sports people drink Gatorade, because it's full of sugar. It's also full of, it's able to replace those electrolytes that they lose during sports. So for them, I'll say that's okay because they are burning it. But for someone that leads a sedentary lifestyle, that you're just sitting down, maybe the kind of work you do, you're always behind a desk, I wouldn't advise you to drink so much sugar like Gatorade and all of that, because what happens is that it just sits in your body. Okay, so empty calories, yes, they provide energy. Okay, and that's the building force behind most of these drinks that are sold out there. Oh, you get instant energy, you keep going and all that, but it doesn't have any nutritional value. Empty calories can be avoided by incorporating fresh, healthy food and drink into the diet. So you can get enough energy and still get nutritional value, okay, by certain types of calories. So now we just want to, talking about calorie, we want to talk about the men. How much calorie do I need as a woman? How much calorie do I need as a man? Now, this is for just generalizing it, okay? So the moderate, active, healthy female needs about 2,000 calories per day, okay? And a moderately active, healthy male needs about 250,000 calories per day. So for the female, we need some people say we need about 1,500, which is 1,500 to 1,800. But I'm just kind of summarizing it here. So for the female, we need about 2,000 calories per day. And for the healthy male, they need about 2,500 calories per day. So now all of this, it's also dependent on your metabolic rate. It's dependent on your level of physical activities and your state of health.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means if I'm looking at my calories, for those that are conscious about calorie count, my background my mindset should be, okay, I'm female and male. What is my metabolic? How fast do I metabolize food? How active am I? How physically active am I? And what is my state of health right now? Okay, so if I look at, maybe I go to the store and I buy something and a food and I check the nutrition label and I look at the calorie count and then add it up for what I'm going to be eating for that day. For a female, I should work with about 2,000. For those of us that are into like checking about your steps to burn, like say you have your smartphone or your smart whatever you have that counts your steps or the amount of calorie. So you try to balance that up. So if for a female, I'm taking 2,000 calories. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is that at the end of the day, I should try at least to burn half of that. So what you're doing is that you're giving your body that balance. Okay, so if I'm taking 2,000 calories as a female and I'm not burning anything, so it's sitting there, it's just boom, like right there. So those are the things when you're managing your steps, like you're checking, oh, how much steps did I do today? How much calories did I burn today? In your mind, again, you should say, how much did I consume? So with what I consume, there should be like a balance whereby what I consume should be at least be what I burn. So that's why some people go and get personal trainers, right? So your personal trainer will now break it down for you, check your metabolic rate, check your health status, and be able to say, okay, I'll put you on this calorie count based on what I've found about your body. So make sure that you achieve this amount of activity that can burn this amount of calories.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I hope, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So speaking about calories, right? You said that you should try and spread your food, like maybe just eat a little bit all through the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said for a healthy female, in a day you can consume like 2,000 calories. So
yes,
you consume these 2,000 calories on a sitting, right? Maybe you're
okay.
type that kind of eat like that all the time. Maybe you just eat like maybe once or twice a day. So can you like consume these 2,000 calories in one sitting?
Yes, you can. Or like again, I said some people say it's 1,500 to 1,800 for females, but I'm just using 2,000 here. Now, the next slides I'm going to talk about, you can see, like, we can now see how we can give us an idea, even with our African food, how we can count calories. It doesn't have to be 0.0, like I keep saying 0.00 on the dot amount, but we can still be flexible, right? And say, okay, well, I consumed 1,800 amount of calories today. So if I can achieve at least 100% of my steps today, that can burn at least another 1,000 calories. That should give me a balance. If I can achieve it today, that's fine. Tomorrow I can. Okay, so again, I don't want us to live in this rigid diet conscious life. That's not a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so God has given us freedom, but we still want to be flexible in it.
Someone has
Raise a hand.
Yes.
Dr.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Grace. I'm getting a lot today. There's this question I want to ask. About the body mass index, which is the ratio of the weight to height. However, there are some people that the majority of their weight is in their bones. And if they do the BMI, it gives a false indication that they are obese and they're not, and they get worried. So what's your own rationale about this, ma'am?
Okay. Do you mind? We'll have some slides down. We'll talk about BMI, and then I'll address your question. Do you mind?
Okay, ma'am. Yeah,
okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, and then I think I answered. Did I answer your question now?
Yes,
concerning and I believe by the time we keep going down, it will make more sense. Okay, so balance in everything. Okay, now I just want talking about calories. I also want us to physically look at the transition of calories over the years. Again, most of us are in diaspora and we are living in this life, and even back home, people are eating all of this right now, right? So can you look at this transition of calories over the years? There was a time that 5 cups of popcorn had 270 calories, and that was the serving that time. That is the standard serving. But right now, when you go to like theaters, you're going to watch a movie and all of that, you buy those tubs of popcorn. Now, can you see the calorie count? Now, presently, increased to almost double of that. That's 630 calories.
Wow.
Okay. So yes, we are in a better healthy times, but our calories have increased. There was a time 3-inch diameter of bagel had about 140 calories. But right now, if you go to Tim's or Starbucks or wherever you buy your pastries, the 5 to 6-inch diameter bagels has 350 calories. There was a time hamburgers were at about 330 calories. Now, a typical hamburger, it's about 590 calories. Same thing with pops, soft drinks and all of that. They have increased the amount. So our calorie count over time has increased, but our activity lives have not. So we're not balancing it. We're living a sedimentary life. People are working from home these days. People are so stressed out when they're back home. They're just tired. There's no energy to do anything. But we're consuming so much calories. Okay, so that's why we're still advocating for portion size. Now, typically, if I give somebody that 3-inch diameter bagel, you'd be like, that's for my little kid at home, right? I am an adult. Give me the 5 to 6-inch. Or if I give somebody the junior burger, right? You'll be like, no, I want the mama burger. I want the big one. Okay. So
Mac.
that's why I keep saying Mac, Big Mac. That's why I keep saying that it's a balance. Okay. So you're not depriving yourself of everything good. You might like all of this food, that's fine, but portion size matters. So you can see the transition of calories over the years. It's getting bigger. Okay. And those of us living in North America, it's even worse. Our portion size is going out of place. Sometimes you go to the restaurant, you can't even finish the food that is served you, which is a typical serving. And you see people putting it in, they pack it up and go home with it because there's the serving sizes has really increased for us, and we've grown into it. So what does it, answering your question, what does a typical 200-calorie meal look like? I hope we can see that, okay? Yeah. So it just gives you an idea what a 2,000 calorie for a female looks like in a day. So if I take it like for my breakfast, for those of us that take breakfast, right? And you have one slice of whole grain bread, whole grain, again, whole grain, not whole wheat. Whole wheat is still good. But when you go a step further and get whole grain, where you have all those grains that are not over processed, made for that you use that, they use that to make pastry. Okay, so that one slice with, say, what we have there is a pear and walnut ricotta toast with honey. Okay, so just looking at that, that gives us, that is a 353 calorie. Okay, a handful of blueberries, like a half cup of blueberry with your Greek yogurt. Again, Greek yogurt is much better than, because it has more protein than your regular yogurt. So if you just have that 1 cup with a half cup of blueberries, there goes your 233 calories. Okay, so when you sum all of this all through your dessert for supper, you find that you're almost building up your 2,000 calories. And this is with portion size. Now again, we'll be like, oh, well, this is white man's food. How about, our own kind of food that I understand what you're saying? But I just wanted us to look at this to have an idea what builds up calories. Okay. Can I have the next slide? Okay, so talking about calories and the sizes of calories. Okay, so we see this. Is this the next slide? Sorry. It is? Okay.
It is the next slide. You still have the control.
Okay, good. All right. So what calories look like in a typical Nigerian food? Okay, so I remember when one time I was saying that if you want to eat swallow, I'll use swallow because I know we all understand what swallow is, either fufu or amala or gari or pando or whatever it is, and these days oats and all of that, right? And I say use half a cup. People like, what? Half a cup? What is half a cup? Half a cup is whatever can fit into the palm of your hand. That's what it's recommended, okay? And I get it. We'll be like, oh my God, who will this one feed? How much can, because I know typically what we eat, right? So if we're looking at the amount of calories, again, you're not depriving yourself of our kind of food because our food is healthy. Our food is much better. It's the so-called organic that they have here. So we're not depriving ourselves of good food or good African food or good homemade food, but we're also aware of the calorie or the amount. So whatever you can put in the palm of your hand, that should make up the calorie count. So for pounded yam, the yam powder version, it's 140 calories. Okay, for the fresh one, it's 105. Do you notice that the difference in the pando, like the flour one and the fresh one, the difference is because the fresh one has more fiber, right? It's not processed. So you see that the calorie count is low. Okay. Gari and amala. Amala has more fiber. The real amala, because I'm not a Yoruba person, but I know growing up then, they used to do amala with the skin. Am I right? Right? Yeah. And it's purple.
Yeah,
Yes.
some people
Right?
skin. Yeah, some people use the
I
skin,
think
right?
majority, yeah, the majority does.
And that's what gives it that purple color, right?
Yes.
Yes. But now, of course, we've modernized amala and they don't really do it that way. But if you notice that it's just 100 calorie because it has more fiber. Okay. Semolina compared to wheat, right? So semolina has more calorie because the bran surface has been removed. So you're eating straight on more of the carbs. But when you go for whole wheat semolina, what happens is that you have more of the fiber, so less calorie. So those of us that are in living diaspora and you want to go for semo or semolina or semovita, go for the ones that has the whole wheat. What I do is that I go to the African store and I buy wheatlets. They call it wheatlets in this part of the world, right? And I just go to bulk ban or any of the store, buy bran, and I buy bran. You can buy bran anywhere. I should have brought samples here, okay? And I add it to my semo. So there, I'm already incorporating fiber to it. I'm incorporating bulk to it. And then if I want, I can also add my oat to it. Or I can just do oats as a swallow. Okay, so this can give you an idea also of, yes, I can still enjoy my homemade African food, but I'm also conscious of the quantity, the calorie count and all of that. So if you see the one on your, I believe your right, your left, that cup of gari that's a quarter of a cup or half a cup. I can't see very well indicate. It has about 183 calories. But if we look at it and I give that to somebody to eat, you'll be like, this will not go anywhere. This is about 2 swallows or whatever, I'm done. Okay, but we'll see later how you can also, pound up or put up things in your plate that you can be able to still be satisfied after eating. Okay, I think I've lost touch of my control, please. Okay. All right. So are there ways we can cut down on calories? Yes. I can cut down on calories by substituting. Okay. So I can still enjoy my food, but I can cut down on calories. Look at the picture here. This is a taco food. And we know typically, like my kids love taco, I love taco, but I can substitute the flour tacos with lettuce wraps and still get that wonderful taste of taco, right? So if you look at the 4 tacos by your left, you see it has 240 calories. But substituting it with lettuce wraps, I've cut it down to 5 calories. But I'm still enjoying my meal. Okay, so these are the ways we can look at calories. I can substitute it. Now, I mentioned that when I make my swallow, I don't go straight on semo. What I do is that I buy semo, I buy bran. I go to either bulk ban or any of the stores. They have bran, whole wheat bran. Okay, and I add it to my semo, and I still add oats. So what I'm doing now is that I've cut down on the amount of starch, but I've upped up the fiber. And we know that oat is really good for cleansing of cholesterol, right? And I'm still enjoying my swallow. I can still enjoy my swallow, but cutting down on my calories. So how we can cut down on calories is by substituting. You can substitute calories and still enjoy your meal, because I'm an advocate for enjoying. You have to enjoy your meal, because I don't think we eat food in heaven, so might as well enjoy it here, right?
Sorry, ma. Would you say that the
Yes.
oat, in African store, they sell the oat that is already, blended? Would you say maybe that
In process
is it
or
processed or is it real oat?
Okay, I don't know. Everybody have a way, because I'm not there in the store with them. But personally, I don't buy those oat flours because I don't know what they've incorporated in it. They could add every other thing to give it size or bulk to make their profit. I just buy straight on plain oat that you use to make your cereal, not the sugared one. If you go to the stores, there are plain oats. They could say 1 minute quick oat or large oat.
Yeah.
If you feel it doesn't blend well with, you can blend it. Just blend it in your blender. And there you go, you got your oat flour, but you are sure of what's in it. So I don't buy those oat flours because honestly, I don't know what it is in it. Even the plantain flour, I'm very careful where I get my source of plantain flour because I incorporated a lot of things into it just to give it for their profit. So something like that, what I do, I mix it up together. I need blends, but there's some people that really like their swallow to be well smooth and all of that. By all means, you can blend it. You can get like a coffee maker, or even your blender can still blend it dry. It can blend it dry. Anytime you're off or you have time, you buy them, blend them, ziplock them, and keep them in your pantry, which you can use anytime. Then you're sure that it's real oats. And without any addictive, without anything, right? Because yes, you're being conscious of the calories and you're conscious of what you're eating, thinking you're eating healthy, but you don't know what is out there. So things like that, I rather will do it myself and be sure of what I have. It's like, making cookies and all of that, or pastries. Most times if I have time, I try to make it for the kids by myself, because then I can estimate the amount of sugar, because most of the recipes out there, I cut down on the sugar and it still tastes good. Right? Yeah, so there are things you can do to substitute, but you have to be sure you're doing the right thing. So yes, to your question, yes, those are good, but I personally, I do my oat flour myself, or I just straight on put it in my semo and my oats with the bran and just mix it together.
So we can buy the normal semo
Yes.
with the brand.
Yes, I just wish, but maybe next time I will show you some of the ones that I use at home. Like I can get a cup, like just to give you an idea, like 1 cup of semo wheatlets that we buy from African stores, and I will get a half cup of bran. And I could get another 1 cup of oats, and I mix it up. I put it in my pantry and I just use that for my semo. You eat that, honestly, the next morning you're going to the washroom because it's full of fiber.
Wow.
And it's not heavy. You know how you eat, like when you eat pounded yam and you feel like there's a stone, like I don't know, it's just heavy.
Exactly. You are right. It's so the pound, yeah.
Yes,
It's so heavy.
yeah. And so now I'm not depriving of myself of good food. I'm still eating good African food, but in a healthier option. So go out there, look out for oats, blend it, and just get a container and put it there. Pure, clean, just plain oats. They're even cheaper than all the sugar, not the ones with the sugar for sure, because it can't even taste better. Just plain oats.
Yeah, plain oat.
Plain oats, yeah.
We're having some comment of YouTube live, because
Yes,
we're
yes.
currently live on YouTube. And then I thank you for joining. Wherever you're joining from, we really, really, really appreciate you joining this. And then thank you for sharing within your network and your group friends and families that need this. So we have a few comments here, and then I can just skim through and see. Let's say Mercy Wabo say hydration. Yeah, that's perfect when we're talking about lots of water, drinking water. We have Adeomi says balance is the key. Thank you for saying that balance is when you're talking about balancing our calorie, food, and all of that. We have she also say here that healthy foods are expensive, but we need to always make right choices. Our food is not the problem, but the portion
That
that we
we
eat
eat.
and sedimentary lifestyle. Thank you. And then also she was making mention here that we have brand will reduce the amount of semolina you are going to use, and the same time
Okay.
increase fiber intake. Also referring to bulk bank store.
Okay. Yeah.
Bulk bank store is a good place. Uh, is a good store to a place to buy, and also cocoa oat. Cocoa oat oat flour is in superstore, no refill store, places like that that you
Yeah,
mentioned. Just
yeah,
add, yeah.
yeah. Bulk ban is my go-to. It's my happy spot when I go there because
Ah,
their grains are fresh.
mm,
It's really fresh, and because there's always a turnaround, people come there a lot. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but honestly, it's clean. Their grains are very clean. Their products are very clean. So that's where I get my brand. Like if I can get the brand, it's about $2.99 a pack
wow.
in Safeway Superstore. But when I go to bulk ban, I can measure as much, and it's very cheap
Mm,
compared to other things, right? So it's quite cheap. So, like I said, 1 cup of that's wheatlet, half a cup of bran, and 1 cup of bran. Just use that as an estimate, and you get your wheatlet or you get your swallow there.
mm.
And again, I get it. Not everybody can get used to that. It doesn't really have a taste, but some people still like that pounded yam tea flavor thing. By all means, go for it, but quantity and calorie count matters, right? Okay, so quickly, we're talking about any other thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if you're new immigrants or you're just coming in, a young family, they're just starting, this information is for you, so as to stay healthy and keep your
Mm.
family healthy. Okay.
Yes, yes, and keep eating our food. I encourage and advocate for that, please.
Absolutely.
Once in a while, the North American food, but please let's keep eating our food. Our food is much healthier and is the so-called organic that is sold out there. Okay. So substituting calories, cutting down on calories by substituting. So you just look at that picture, just putting lettuce wraps instead of the flour taco cuts down tremendously the amount of calories. Okay. Okay, Pastor again, sorry, I can't, you have to help me go to the next slide. I can't, I've
Okay.
lost control of the slides on my end.
Okay. Yeah, it should be good now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I don't have a control anymore. Let's see. Okay.
That's the next one, right?
Yeah, that should be the next one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So looking at this, we also can just visually look at healthy calories alternatives. Okay. So we talked about substituting your calories. Are there also alternatives you can do to cut down your calories? Take, for example, the McDonald's. Again, I don't have anything against McDonald's, right? But just typically look at their breakfast. It's for looking at just that, alone is 730 calories. Instead of that, you can cut it down halfway and
Mm.
have your whole wheat, have your fresh vegetables, fruits, have your whole grain bread with your eggs, right? And you've cut it down halfway. Or typically Subway. Again, it depends on what you stock into the Subway. If it's more of veggies, that's fine. But for lunch, you have this big, and if you notice, it's even a half. It's what do they call it? Foot Subway.
The,
It's not even the full foot one,
not the
right?
full one. Oh my.
Not the full one, but you can see all that is inside. There's less veggies there, and that gives you 610 calories just for lunch alone, right?
Wow.
And maybe you're sitting behind the desk. You
No.
ate all that, you couldn't go out, right? And then why don't you opt that for the lunch below it, which is home cooked, 400 calories?
Mm.
Okay. Same thing for the dinner. So looking at all of this, there are alternatives. There are alternatives apart from substituting calories. There are also alternatives. Do you still enjoy your meal? Yes, you do. Are you starving yourself? No. Right?
Mm.
And over time, I get it. Oh, quantity. We typically Africans, we eat a lot. Our portion sizes weigh a lot, but with time, you get used to it. And that's why I advocate for at least eating little portions in a day, like 6 times 3 whole meal in between snacks. Okay, so you're not literally starving yourself. So again, I want to talk about swaps. There are some healthy swaps. So we'll talk of substitution, we'll talk of alternatives. The next one is swaps. How can I swap? Please, the next slide. How can I swap my calories? Okay. Now, instead of say a bagel, I love pastries, I love bagel. I could go for the thin bagel and still have the same taste, but I've cut down on my calorie count, right? Can you see that first picture by your left?
Yeah.
The first picture by your left, you see the calorie, the amount of the size of the bagel. If you can cut it down to there's these thin bagels that are sold in the stores. Okay, they are very thin. You can use it to still make your sandwich or whatever you want to use your bagel for. Instead of fried chicken sandwich, you can swap it with a grilled chicken sandwich. I know we love our deep fried foods, they taste better, but we can swap it with a chicken sandwich, a grilled chicken sandwich. Instead of your coleslaw with so much of all your mayo and all of that, you can swap it with a fresh fruit bowl. And if all this were that, I want you to also take note of the amount of calories. The coleslaw bowl has 150 calories, but just having fresh fruit bowl, you're cutting it down and you're getting 50 calories. A bowl of rice, cooked rice, right, has 240 kilocalories. Now just swapping that with quinoa gives you 166 calories. Quinoa is a kind of a protein-based meal. It used to be like more of the Asian culture, but now it's out there. Again, you can get that in bulk ban. And they have different quinoas they sell now. So most times I alternate my rice with quinoa. Okay, especially if I want to eat white rice, I alternate it with quinoa. There, I'm already cutting down the calorie count. And I'm still enjoying my stew. I'm still enjoying my vegetables. Okay, so there are other alternatives. There are other substitutions. There are other swaps you can do to cut down on your calorie. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is health. I was still talking about healthy swaps, but things like your drinks. And thank God we're becoming more health conscious. Of course, substitute your juice and all those sugar-laden drinks with water, just clean water. Now they've even made drinking water a little bit easy, that you can just squeeze in some flavors to it, just to enhance you being able to drink better, more. But the main thing is just pure clean water. You can't beat that anywhere. You can also replace your whole milk with skim milk or almond milk. I encourage our little growing children to still have the whole milk because they need all the fat, they need all the protein to build their cells. But for us, we can go skim milk, we can go almond milk, okay? You can also replace or swap boxed sugar-coated cereals with just whole grain breakfast cereals, such as your cornmeal, your ogi pap, your millet ogi, your plain oatmeal. So if you're someone that really enjoys cereal, like warm, cold, hot cereal in the morning, those are your alternates instead of all the sugar-coated cereals we have out there that is just full of sugar. Another thing you can also look out for is replacing your white bread with whole grain. I underline the whole grain bread. It's not just whole wheat. Whole wheat is good. But if you want to take it a step further, there are whole grain bread out there where they use unprocessed wheat of things like flaxseed or things like, what are some of those? There are a lot of grains now that they incorporate in whole grain bread where it's not processed. The bran is not taken off. So you still have that bulk fiber involved in your bread. Again, like I said, white rice for quinoa or brown rice, okay, or cauliflower rice. People that can handle cauliflower rice, by all means, you can go for that. Our wheatlets, the semolina, you can opt for that for amala or oatmeal fufu, which I said you can process now by yourself. So you know what that is really oat flour that you're using. Or you can also add bran flakes, like I said, to your wheatlets. So less sugar, opt for fruits. You know, instead of adding sugar to everything, you can get pure honey. And now there are a lot of honey out there that are just processed sugars. So be sure that it's real honey. Okay. And one thing that also works for me is cinnamon. Cinnamon has a very nice taste. Like for my drinks, sometimes I just add a little cinnamon, and it's also a very fat burning spice. So cinnamon also adds to flavors. Okay. And sometimes if you're tired of drinking plain water, you can add slices of cucumber, or slice of strawberries, or fresh mint that you can buy in the store. Just put it in your water. It just gives you that added natural taste. All you're doing is that you're having more intake of water. Okay, next slide.
You can control.
I have it now.
Yeah, you do. I don't have
Okay.
it.
Okay. So healthy swaps. Another way of looking at healthy swaps is the method of your cooking. The method of cooking. So opt for grilling or air frying or broiling for deep frying. Thank God that air fryer is all over the place now. There was a time that it was like so expensive, not everybody could afford it, but there's cheaper versions now, and it's not as expensive as it used to be, where you can literally cook your food without any oil, cutting down on the oil. So these are also ways of alternate healthy eating, where you can, instead of deep frying, you go for your grilling, or you do air frying or broil. Instead of also deep frying, you can go for low heat frying, because we know over time that research have shown us that when you overheat your oil, you're breaking it down into trans fat, and trans fat is not good for your body because it added to the buildup of cholesterol. So that's why sometimes when we use oil over and over, it's not healthy, because you've broken that oil to trans fat, and that is not good for the body. And that's why, again, when we go out, you have to be careful. There's almost of this fast food restaurants, they reuse their oil for profit again, and over time they throw it out. But over time, you can smell that rancid, overcooked oil. It's not the best. And that's why something like red oil, don't bleach it. Back home then we used to bleach red oil to cook. What you're doing is that you're breaking it down into trans fat, which is not even healthy, right? And then of course, go and check. There's some oils that have high heating. They can withstand high heat, and some cannot. So whatever oil you make your choice for, try to know the heating. What's that word now? I think the boiling point, not the boiling point, but there's some oil that break down very easily in a high heat. So you can also steam some of your food, okay, or boil them instead of deep frying or high heat, okay. So now we just want to talk about basic metabolic index, BMI. So what is BMI? Now, all of this that we're talking, I know I'm touching things here and there. It's just to have that mindset of healthy lifestyle. Some of these things that should be at the back of my mind when I'm saying that, oh, you know what, I'm living a healthy lifestyle. So what is basic metabolic index? It's a screening tool that we use to measure the body weight. Okay. It combines your height and so a typical BMI calculation will be your weight divided by the square of your height. So if you take it in kilogram, your weight, you divide it by the square of your height. So you see why I keep saying that it's not fair to give a diet for the whole general public. Okay, I say everybody abide by this diet, because we have different metabolic rates, we have different BMIs, we have different health issues. So it's not fair for you to use your diet and impose it on me. It might work, but it's not meeting my specific need. Okay, so basic metabolic index is a screening tool that you use to measure your body weight. So you get your weight, you step on the scale, get your weight, then get your height, okay? And that will give you your BMI. Now, what does this BMI, what does it represent? It gives you an idea of where your weight is on the weight scale. So if your BMI, after that calculation, if your BMI is 25 or more, you're considered overweight or obese. If your BMI, after that calculation, gives you 18.5 to 24.9, you have a healthy weight. And if your BMI is 18.5 and below, you are underweight. And that's not good either. Okay. When we try this, like after this presentation, go home and try your BMI. You find that 80% of us are considered overweight. Okay. And we think that when we look at people physically, or you are overweight, or you are obese, or you are fat, and all of, okay, we don't use that word fat anymore. You are overweight, you're obese, right? But at least 80% of people are overweight. Okay, so when you do that calculation, and again, it comes to the question that Kunle asked. He said some people have like, big bone mass and all of that. Now, BMI is a general calculation for weight. When you go to like your health provider, what they do is that they break it down into further things, like they break it down to your fat, they break it down to water content, they break it down to your bone mass, and they can give you the specific breakdown of your BMI if you want to go that route. Okay, so that also now can give you that leeway for those that have either that amount of bone mass or all of that. But this is just a general basic metabolic index where you want to check your body weight. This also can be a guide to help you say, okay, you know what, my scale is going towards that 25 or more, then I have to watch my weight based on my height and my weight. So it's all individuals. So don't use your BMI on me and use it to say, oh, I'm overweight, or I'm obese, or I shouldn't use it on you and say, oh, you are underweight, because everybody has it. Okay, so if it's overweight or obese, of course, you should work on your diet, work on your activity, physical activity. If it's healthy weight, then you're doing the right thing. Keep practicing healthy lifestyle. If it's underweight, then you go see your doctor. Maybe you're battling some health issues or your hormones or whatever. You go see your doctor, and then they can put you. You can work with a dietitian, and they can give you a meal plan that will help boost your weight. Okay, so either ways or any of the three ways, it's a guide. It helps you. It's a guide. So looking at this picture is what I'm trying to say, that if you look at, say, the first one, you'll be like, oh, this person looks too thin, right? But that's the normal. That's your normal. That's how a normal BMI should be, with the 18.5 to 24.9. Now, if you look at the middle person obese, you think that's like a human, that's how a typical body should be, but that already is obese. Wow. So that's why I'm saying that at least 80% of us are already overweight and obese. Some of us will be like, don't even bother, I'm not checking. So, but I'm just saying this, just to, it's a guide. Okay, so if you feel that, okay, I'm overweight, I'm obese, okay, what can I do to start working on it? All right. So it's just out there for us to look, and then you see that the mobily, the severely obese up to the one of greater to 40, it's what we call, like, you see them and you're like, okay, this person is obese. All right. So, and again, everybody's in different steps, journey of their life. So again, please, we don't shade or condemn people. They're going through, some people it's health, some is their hormones, right? Thyroid, especially for the female, the thyroid plays a prominent role in weight management. And again, as one is aging, there was a time that I can work out for straight on, like I do my workout and I'm there. But these days I see that I have to do extra workouts because now one is getting older, right? So their metabolic rate is also decreasing, right? So all of that, everybody's in the different stages of their life. So no shading, okay? No shading anybody. So, but we just use BMI as a guide. Okay, we use it as a guide. Okay. So this is an example of the calculation of the BMI, because some people will be like, how do I really do that? I just broke it down out there. So you say your weight is 90 kilogram and your height is 1.8 meters. So what your BMI means is that it's 90 divided by 1.8 times 1.8. That's the 1.8 square, right? So this gives that person 27.8. So is this person obese? Yes.
Overweight.
But you think that 90 kg is not bad.
Yeah.
Consider the person's height. You have to consider the person's height. So the height now comes into play. The bone density comes into play. The metabolic rate comes into play. But this person, if you look at this person, a medical person looks at this, they'll be like, this person is overweight already.
Yeah.
Right? So now what the person will have to do now, work on your diet, increase more of your work, physical activities, and you'll get there. Okay. How much time do I have? It's already 1:20.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You've
Oh my
actually
God.
gone past time.
All right. I might not finish everything today because I have to be somewhere else today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another session.
Then we'll have another session. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We'll have
do have another session. Yeah.
Okay,
So
because I don't want to rush it. I want us to really break it down for us.
I think we can come. We can on the next session we can come back to this BMI because
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of questions on this.
Questions.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a
No.
lot of questions. And I don't want you to rush this.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want, I want us to take this part in. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. You know, I was
It's-
just looking at the time. It's past one. I didn't believe
I didn't
it.
know. Yeah, but
I know. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
so much into
We might
it.
round up. Yeah, we might round up in the next, say, 10 minutes, and of course we'll continue next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since
and then we
we're
can- yeah.
having another session,
Yeah,
right?
we're
So
having another session. Yes.
yeah, so maybe we should start from
So I'll just round up with the BMI thing, okay? And then I think, yeah. So looking at that calculation, that will give you, like, if you're saying BMI is your weight divided by the square of your height, this is what it looks like. Again, you can do the conversion into pounds or
okay.
meter. Well, yeah, I'll just say leave it, or feet. You can do the conversion, but if you can get it in kilogram and meter, it will just give you a straight on calculation. Okay, 27.8.
Wow.
So this person is overweight already. So again, like I said, it's not a do or die thing. It's just a guide. It's a guide that will help you know, okay, this is where I'm going to, or this is what I have to do, or this is what I can go see my doctor and see what maybe something is not just working in my metabolic rate. Okay. So I will wrap it up here. I know we have more slides, but I know some people might have questions.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can answer to the best of my ability, and then we'll continue next time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time here with our guest. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining wherever you've joined from. Thank you. I want to say a big thank you again because I can't say thank you enough. So it's been an amazing time. Yeah, thank you for all of this information. If you're watching, wherever you're watching from, whatever part of the world, we say thank you for joining, and please do share this. And this time, if you have a question to ask, please throw your question out here. We have our nutritionist, our professional here to answer all your question and concern. We've had a few people on live on YouTube. Just going to check if there are any question. Okay, let's see. There's so much here. So much. Yeah, I can just swap into Facebook and YouTube. So yeah. So
if you have any question,
we have someone raising their hand up. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Go ahead, boss. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pastor Grace. Interesting. When I saw the topic, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm glad that I didn't take it lightly that, about it. I really appreciate the clarifications between the wheat and the grain. Sincerely, I know that one is better, but I never really took my time to like what makes it better. And I really love how you explained it. And all the alternatives that you have suggested. I was only thinking, like, if the swallow would be like, at least the highest there was 145, what would be the calorie for our soup?
Okay. Okay, so like to have an idea of the calorie for our soup.
Yes, like a typical
Because some people can finish a pot of soup
Okay,
at one sitting.
we can. Yes, that's a very good question. But
Wow.
I have that tied to one of my slides that is still coming when we're talking about
Oh,
food guide. When we're talking about food guide, so I'll just give you like a brief one on that. So, like the Canadian food guide gives us that plate that has, you divide your plate into half, right? Half of it is vegetables, fruits, and all of that. Then the half, you divide it into quarters, right? One quarter is carbohydrate, the other quarter is protein. Now, for the typical African food, half of that is like your typical vegetable soup. Okay, I know people start thinking of egusi soup, but we'll come to that. And the other quarter is your swallow, and then the other quarter is your meat. Okay, so I will, in our next listen, I'll talk more on that. Not typically the calorie count, because again, everybody cooks differently. I might add maybe meat base or broth to my egusi soup or vegetable soup. Somebody else will be like, no, I don't really like it. I might add crayfish. Somebody will be like, I don't like. So again, the calorie count might be different, but using that Canadian food guide, which we'll talk about next time, it will give you like a visual idea of what my plate should look like. So if I have a round plate, I divide it into half. Half of it goes for my fruits, vegetables, or whatever that will be under that category of fruits and vegetables. The other half, I'll divide it into quarter of it will be my my carbohydrates, and the other quarter will be my protein, which is meat, fish, or whatever. That will just give you a visual idea. So we'll talk more about that. But if you're talking about counting the calories, everybody cooks different. That's why when a white man asks me for my recipe, I tell them I don't cook with recipe, because we taste it in our head. We take a sprinkle of salt, we're fine. A typical white man wants to know, what is a teaspoon? How long does it stay? What do you do? So counting calories for Nigerian food, I could get you some information, but honestly, it will be different. Some people don't like red oil. Some put a lot of red oil, and red oil has so much calories. Some these days, health conscious, they use turmeric instead of red oil, or paprika, right? So all of that cuts down on the calories. Again, it goes down to swapping, substituting, or alternating your calorie count or source of calories. So if we'll talk about the Canadian food guide, and there was one that somebody made, the Nigerian or African food guide, that will also give you an idea. But just having that idea that on your plate, half of it should be your vegetable fruits, that the other half divided between your carbohydrates and your protein. And remember, like your product in the palm of your hand, and then everyone. Yeah. Okay.
some people will go hungry. I'll stand there.
I know we are
I
talking
hope
about.
I've not caused any problem by giving us that half.
Some people are ready to get to business.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, but I like what why now?
Go ahead.
Okay, I like what one of our participants said here, Alanka Anwale. Thank you so much, sir. He said thank you for the advice on food combination. Altogether, it is a good refresher. Yeah, this is a good refresher. Wherever you are and you're watching this, or you will be watching this, please go back and watch from the beginning. It's live on YouTube, and it's gonna be there for you to refer to. And then just as a refresher, we might be doing something that we say we're doing it right, probably in a wrong way, right? But this is just kind of bringing us back to see, oh, we are not in Africa, we are in the Western, we are in Canada, or wherever you are. There's a way you can learn to do things right, and then living right and living healthy. For myself, I know it's gonna be. I'll start
measuring food for you now.
You didn't even wait for me to finish.
Don't start on the soup, please.
Okay. Well, it's a good problem solved. I know some people are also feeling the same way that I'm feeling. But anyway, it's a good problem solved. And that's what we're talking about. Maybe we were misinformed in the past. Now, this is hearing from a professional.
And if I can just add something, right? Just quick one.
Yeah.
Now, our forefathers, right? They ate this, they can eat swallow in the morning because they go out to farm. They walk all the way to their farm, right? So they can afford to do that in the morning, eat big swallow, right? And go to farm and farm all day and come back and still eat starch and eat and be fine. But for us, we live a less active life now. So again, counting that calorie, what I take, I should balance it with what I burn. They balanced it. They didn't even know what calories was, but what they were taking, they were burning it. But now we're taking so much and we're not burning it, and it's sitting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for the information that we have now that they don't have then. So we should take the advantage of the information we have now and the people that God has blessed us with, like our guests. I mean, it's a great blessing. Thank you very much. So we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yes.
If you have any question, please you can send us a message. Send us a message live on our Facebook page. We'll respond, and then we will be getting back on the same topic on this subject in the next 2 weeks, right? In the next 2 weeks with our guests. Thank you so much, and then I will look forward. Please keep living the best that you can and get this information to get ahead of whatever you're going through, because all of this come down to living a stressed life, being depressed, living in fear, living in all sorts of things around us. But you know what? When you find the truth sets free. And this is part of the truth that can set your health free. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again in the next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.
And remember to share.
Yeah. Please share. Thank you. God bless. Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Great meeting. Well done, sir.
Oh, our prof.
It's
God bless.